I hope player 2 is not going to be too mad at player 1, because that would make for a pretty bad Valentine's Day, right? Hey everyone, there's Zagos, and today I'm bringing you a roll and write again, and today we'll be playing through Roll and Color with the Hearts version that I just backed on Kickstarter just a few weeks ago, and I thought I'd record this video just in time for Valentine's Day. So in case you celebrate that day and want to play something, that might be something for you. Alright, so as a preparation, we have our pencils here. I will use this die here as a player marker because this is a two-player game, but you could probably also just model it the way that you are just playing it solo, but I will simulate a two-player game here just to know you know how to play that. And also we will have our dice here. Okay, so I will not have my dice tray this time because I think we have enough room here to roll the dice here. Okay, so I will explain the game pretty much as we go, and first we start by assigning one of these 6 colors to each of these dice. So let me quickly do that. Alright, that is step 1 of the preparations, and then what we also do is number the columns here with 1, 2 and 3, and the rows with 4, 5 and 6, like this. And that is already all you need for the preparation. So now one player chooses the inside of the hearts and the other player chooses the outside. We would say player 1 will choose the inside, and player 2, I will just turn the die like this then, is choosing the outside. And another important rule is we cannot have the inside and the outside of the same heart in the same color. So I can't have a red inside and a red outside. If I have a red inside, then I need a orange, blue, purple, green or brown outside. And that is pretty much all we need to know. And then we can start playing. So player 1 starts and rolls all 4 dice like this. So player 1 will now start, and how this works is player 1 will now choose a die for the column, so that is either 1 or 3 in this case, a die for the row, that is 4 or 5, and then also choose a third die for the color. So for example, player 1 will say here 1 and 4, so that is column 1, row 4, so one of these 3 hearts, because the hearts on the lines are in 2 areas, and you can choose both areas for that heart, right? So this heart, for this heart I could choose if I'm in this or this area, and this one if I'm in one of these 2 areas. So it will player 1 will say, okay, let's take this heart up here in column 1, row 4, and I will choose the 3 to color it red. So that is, and of course the inside, because that's the part that player 1 chose. So we'll color in the inside here red. And now player 2 will do the same with the same dice here. So we'll choose 1 for the column, 1 for the row, and 1 for the color. And player 2 will make it very easy on them right now, and by saying, okay, I will choose the same column and the same row, I will choose the same heart, but I can't choose the 3 because I can't color the outside in the same color, but I will just choose the 5 to color it in green. So, and player 2 has the outside, so that is what is going to happen. And so you see that you will just keep taking turns coloring in these hearts, and that will look pretty cool later on. And there will be a few issues along the way, which I will then show you when that's the case. And that was already the first round, so to speak. And now it's the other player's turn. Player 2. Player 2 will roll the dice again, like this. And then again choose 1 row and 1 column. You see, for the column we can only choose the 6. So we can only go down here. And then player 2 will say, well, you know what? Let us do the 2 here. So that is going to be column 2, row 6. So one of these 3 hearts. And player 2 is coloring the outside and will choose, well, one of these 3s, right? Doesn't matter because both dice have a 3, so that's red. So and one of these 3 hearts doesn't really matter because all these areas have 3 hearts, so just this one here. Right, so 2, 6, this area, and this heart here. Colored in red for the outside. Wonderful. And now it's the other player's turn with the same dice. So this time the trick won't work because player 1 can't say, okay, I'll choose the same column and the same row and the same heart because both are 3s. And red is not possible here anymore. But the other player will say, well, that was actually a pretty good choice. I will still take the same area, but I will not choose this heart. I will choose another one and color that in red. So let's just take, well, this heart here, for example. Right? So color that in red, just the inside. There's already a lot of red, but I mean, that's pretty fitting for Valentine's Day. And of course, I mean, that's also my YouTube color. So that is just wonderful, right? 2 pretty good reasons. All right, and then it's player 1's turn again. Rolling all the dice. Let's see, 2, 2, 4, and 6. So we can only take, for the column, only take 2 because we don't have a 1 or a 3. So let me put that there. And then for the column, player 1, for the row, player 1 will, well, actually choose the 4 again, probably, to get those colored in here. And for the color, let's take blue. So taking blue here, and then let's see. So would be that area here, right? 2, 4, and which heart? Well, just this one here, maybe. Well, but then I would have. Well, let's take this heart here, and player 1 will color the inside here, and color that in blue, light blue, to be exact. Okay. And, well, player 2 is a pretty cheap player. So they will actually say, you know what, I will choose the same heart. I will just color in the outside brown instead, which is a totally viable move. So you can actually piggyback a little bit of your opponent. But it's not always possible, as you saw in our last turn, when the red was not possible to actually color in. So it might be quite a viable strategy for you to actually choose specific dice so that the opponent can't profit off of that. Okay, so that was that round, and now it's player 2's turn again. Alright, so the only column we can use is 3. And then we have 5 or 6. Doesn't really matter too much. Let's just take a 6. So that is where opponent 2, where player 2 will color something in. And the color, well, they already used brown, so they will use it again. So 3, 6, and then color in brown for this one, for example. The outside again, right? Because it's player 2. Like this. And now player 1, well, player 1 could profit off that again, and I think that wouldn't be too bad to get that heart out of the way, because that's pretty specific, right? Because it's not part of several areas, so player 1 will do the same thing and just use green instead. Like this. Alright, player 1's turn. Let's see. So we only have 1 column again. That's the same we just had. And then 5 or 6. Well, actually, probably 5 would be a good idea. Well, actually, no, let's take 6 again, just like now. So it's that one here again. And for the color, well, it can only be green, right? So that is what the player 1 will do. And just take this one here. And that is actually not a very good idea, but I will show you, I'm doing that on purpose to show you at the end why having the same color in one area is not a good idea. You want to have it as spread out and colorful as possible for your part of the heart. So for the insides for player 1 or the outside player 2. Alright, so it's player 2's turn, and player 2 will, player 2 will actually do the same, but instead of that heart, they will color in that one here. So the outside. All right, and now it's player 2's turn again. Let me find that side of the die. There we go. Oops, that was not the way it was supposed to go, like this. And again, oh, this time we actually have no choice. We need to do 1 and 5. So that's going to be column 1, row 5 right here. And as the color, well, we didn't have orange yet, so let's take orange. And player 2 will just choose that heart right in the middle. Like this. And player 1 will choose the same heart, but just with a green color. 5 is green, exactly. So when does the game end? The game ends at the end of the round when one player has finished all of their hearts. So their part of the hearts, right? So player 1 needs to finish all insides, or player 2 all the outsides. And it's player 1's turn again. So for the column, for the row, we are locked in with a 6. And for the row, we can take a 1 or a 3. So the 3 would be possible for player 1, right? Because 3, 6. So this heart would still be possible, but that is the only heart in that area. So it might not be the best idea to choose that. So player 1 instead will choose 6 and 1 instead, like this. So that's one of these hearts. And as the color, let's go with red again, because red we don't have here yet for the inside. So that might be a pretty good idea. So let's take this heart here, the inside. And player 2 is thinking and finds this a pretty good idea, but instead player 2 will take the 6, so that is a brown color for the outside. Okay, and then it's player 2's turn again. There we go. By the way, these are really awesome dice here. Okay, so we are pretty much locked in again. We are locked in again. That's the only thing we can use for a column, the 3, and this is the only thing for a row. So we are locked in right here, and as the color, player 2 will choose. Well, it's not really a choice if you can only choose between 4 and 4, right? And then for the outside, well, maybe this one here. Finally, our first purple. That was about time. I think now we have all colors, right? And purple is one of the nicest colors here, so I have no idea why it took so long to actually get that. Okay, so that was it. And now player 1 will also choose the same dice, and now player 1 doesn't have a choice. Player 1 also needs to do a 3, 4, 4. It doesn't work any other way, but player 1 cannot color in that heart here, the inside, because the outside is already purple. So player 1 has no choice but to actually color in the inside of this heart here. So you see that the options get less and less the more or the longer you play this game. I mean, that makes sense, but that's a pretty interesting progression here. So, okay, now it's player 1's turn again. Let's have them roll. All right, so with the roll, we are locked in with a 6, but here we are very free. So let's see. The best thing would be for player 1 to choose that one here, because this one has 2 areas, this one has 2 areas, and for this area up here, we already also have that heart still. So a 1 might be the best choice here, so 1 and 6. And for the color, we could take blue. We already have red in there. As I said, the same color in one thing, in one area is not good. So instead, we will take blue for player 1. Wonderful. And player 2 is now thinking, well, actually, the same area here would not be a great idea, because if we ever have a 1-6 again, that's the only heart we can use for the outside, because that outside is already colored. So player 2 would actually choose something else. So we are locked in for the 6 here. But well, actually, actually player 2 doesn't have a good option because all of these areas only have one heart left, right? So that is, you see that player 2 has already colored in quite a lot here. So actually these are all not really good. But here are more hearts. So I think player 2 will just take the 6 here and the 3, 3, 6. So that would be that heart here and color that in. Well, blue and orange both would work. So let's just take orange. Why not? All right. So player 2's turn again. So let's see. So we are locked in for the row again. Only 6 and then either 2 or 3. Let's see what makes the most sense. So 3 won't work for player 2 because 3, 6, you see, there is no outside of a heart left. So player 2 needs to take the 2 here. So 2, 6. For the colors, either brown or red. Red is already present here, so that player 2 doesn't want that. So that's why we will take brown. So the 6. All right. And player 1. Well, 2, 6. 2, 6 would be here. That's fine for player 1 because there are still 2 hearts for that area. So that is actually pretty good. And for the color, brown would work. Red would not work because there already is a red. That would be a good idea. They could do it, but it wouldn't be great. So player 1 will also take brown, and then doesn't really matter, I suppose, just over here. All right, and then it's player 1's turn with rolling the dice. So we have 1, 2, 5, 6. So let's see. So 2, 5 would be okay because there are still 2 hearts here for that area. So that is what player, oops, that was a 2. What player 1 will do, 2, 5. And then we either have orange or brown. Also both still viable. So let's take whatever, orange, I suppose. Like this. And player 2 is thinking, well, actually 2, 5 is a pretty good idea. I will choose the same heart, but not the 1. I will take a brown. Well, but brown, they already have brown. So they might think they want to do something else. But, well, maybe 1. How about 1, 5 would work, right? 1, 5, that's right here. We have 2 outside still. That's fine. And then either blue. Blue is fine. And brown would also be fine, but they will take blue. It's the nicer color for sure. But then, of course, not this heart, because this already has a blue on the inside. So, blue right here. And you see, we're slowly getting towards the end. There isn't too many hearts to color anymore. Okay. Player 2's turn. Rolling the dice. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Alright, so we are locked in for the row 5. And then, well, player 2 will definitely choose 2 or 3 because there are still 2 with the outside here. So let's just take, let's take the 3. Why not? I think that doesn't really matter. Let's take this heart here in the middle and then either 1 or 2. So either blue or orange. Player 2 already has orange here, so blue would be the better idea. Again, just like last round. All right, and then it's player 1 is thinking, well, here 3, 5 wouldn't be great because then that one is full. Can we do anything else? 2, 4, we don't have anything there. Well, yeah, well then probably 3, 5 might be an idea, but then not 2, but instead the 1 for the orange might be the better idea. Like this. And then it's player 1's turn, again with rolling the dice. 2, 4, 6. All right, we're locked in with that column here again, 2. And then 4 or 6, let's see. 4 would be great because there's still 2 to fill in, and 6 there's only 1. So let's take the 4, 2 and 4, and then fill it in with, well, with brown. That's the only thing that they can do. like this. Okay, and player 2, well, 2 and 4 would also be a good thing, but 6 would be brown, and they already have a brown here. That would not be perfect. Can they choose anything else? 2, 6 won't work because there's nothing to fill in anymore, so they have to take 2, 4, and they will have to take brown. So you see, they don't have a choice anymore. And they can't do it here. They need to do it here, which is not good because they already have a brown here. So, well, yeah, too bad. I hope player 2 is not going to be too mad at player 1, because that would make for a pretty bad Valentine's Day, right? Okay. Then it's player 2's turn again. And we are really inching towards the end here. So, alright, the only column that's possible is 4, the only row, I mean. And then we have 1 or 2. So 1, 4 is possible. And 2, 4 is also possible, but it's the same heart. So it doesn't matter. It's only that heart is possible. So it's either 1, 4 or 2, 4. Blue would be possible. Nope. We have 2 blues then here. That's not good. 4 would be purple. Purple is fine. So player 2 will color that purple. Okay, wonderful. And then player 1, well, player 1 could actually also choose 2 and 4. Could choose 2 and 4. And choose this heart here. Why not? That would be possible. And then either with purple, which is fine, or with orange, which is not fine because there is an orange already. So they will choose purple. Okay, wonderful. Player 1's turn. So either 1, 3, 5, 6. So let's see, column 1. 5 is possible here. So 1, 5 would be possible. 3, 5, and 3, 6 would also be possible. You know what? Let's take 3, 6. So we are done with all the hearts down here. So we have a better overview. And then for the color, either orange, which works, or green. Green is not a good idea. So let's take orange for player 1 right here. Like this. And player 2, 3, 6 is not possible. 3, 5. 3, 5 would be possible here. So that might be an idea. 3, 5, and then we would have either orange, which is not a good idea because we already have orange there. And also we would have brown, and brown is not a good idea either because there is already a brown. All right, 2, 5 would be possible. 1, 5, 1, 6 maybe. Either in red, which is not a good idea. We already have that, or brown. We already have that either. 1, 6. How about green? Well, green would be possible, right? So 1, 6. Because remember, player 2 is doing the outside. So 1, 6 here. The outside with green. You don't have green yet. So that is a good idea. And you may be wondering, okay, why are you calling them player 1 and 2? Why don't you call them by their names? Well, these are actually their names. They're called player 1 and player 2. That's how their parents named them. And it's just really fortunate that they actually met each other and fell in love with another. Maybe the similar name does have something to do with that, but they deny that. I asked them. But, well, I wouldn't be sure about that. Alright, so it's player 2's turn. Remember, that's their name. So 1, 2, 5, 6. Alright, 1, 5 is not possible. 1, 6 is not possible. 2, 5 is possible. 2, 6 is not. So it needs to be 2, 5. Let's look for a good color now. Orange is not possible because the inside is already orange. So only brown. Brown is not a great idea either, but you know, they don't have too many choices. You may have a lot of choices in life when making decisions, but you don't have a whole lot of choices when playing this game. Alright, and player 1. Let's see. 1, 5 is possible. 2, 5, 2, 6, nothing possible, so only 1, 5. So Let's put that here, 1, 5. And color, either blue is not possible, so it needs to be brown. Which is good, because we don't have a brown here in these areas yet. I think player 1 is not doing too bad. Okay. And speaking of which, it's player 1's turn to roll the dice again. So we have 2, 3, and we have 4, 5. So let's see. 2, 4, not possible. 2, 5, not possible. 3, 4, and 3, 5. No, it's only 3, 4 is possible. So here, 3, 4. And then either blue, which would not be a good idea, or green, which would be a good idea, actually. Great. And now you see that player 1 is finished. All insides of the hearts are done, and now player 2 can still take their turn and hope they can fill in that one. If not, that's a negative point later on. So let's see. That would be 3, 4 or 3, 5. That's possible. In blue, which would not be good, or in green, which would be good. So that is what player 2 will do. And that is the end of the game. All hearts are filled in, and both players actually managed to fill in all the hearts. That is great. That is not always the case. Alright, so what happens now? Now we will calculate the points. So we will start with player 1. And first, how many colors did player 1 use? Well, there are 6 colors, so 6 is the maximum amount of points. As far as I know, player 1 used all of them. So we have orange, we have blue, we have red, we have purple, green, and also brown up there. So that is 6 points for player 1. Player 2 should be the same thing. Player 2 has orange and blue and red down here, purple up there, green, and also brown. So that is another 6 points. So both have 6 points so far. Blanks are -1 point for each blank. Blank means a color that a heart that you couldn't fill in, but both filled in everything. So that is no negative points, which is good. So 0 is the best score here. So far, so good. And now you will get points for each heart that you filled, as long as that color is not already part of that space. So let's look at all the different hearts here. So we will start with player 1 with the insides. Red, there is no red in that space, so that is 1 point. Brown, there is a brown there, so no point for that, right? Because they both share that space here. Blue, there's no further blue, so that's 2 points. Green is fine, that's 3 points. Brown is not fine. Purple is fine, that is 4 points. Then here another purple, that is 5 points. That green, 6. Orange 7, orange 8. Blue is fine, that's 9. Red is fine, 10. Green is not fine actually, as you can see here. So we're still at 10. Red is fine, 11. That is fine, brown, and also that. So we are at 13 points for player 1. And now we look at player 2 with the outside. So that one, only 1 green here, so that is fine. That is fine. Brown is not fine. We have 2 browns here. Purple is fine. That's 3 points. Then blue is fine. Brown is not fine. Green is fine. Orange is fine. Brown is not fine again. Blue is okay. Green is also fine. The brown one here is not, because they're all browns here. The orange one is fine, as is the brown one. So we're at 10 already. That one is fine, 11. That one is fine with 12. And that one is fine, 13. So if I didn't count incorrectly, then we actually have a tie. And seriously, isn't that the best outcome for a nice game on Valentine's Day? I couldn't have scripted that any better. Alright, and that was my playthrough of roll in color with the Hearts edition. I think there's also another edition with stars, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure, but I think there's also another edition. As far as I'm aware of, you can still get this game online on the website. So I will link to the Descent webpage down here in the description of this video. So in case you're interested in getting this for Valentine's Day, which will be in a few days, then you can probably do so. Just print it out yourself. Just need 6 different colored pencils, 4 dice. They don't need to be different colors. I just did it because it's nice. And just a pen for the rows and colors, rows, columns, and also the scoring. You don't even need this here because, well, you are 2 players then, right? And you can remember who wrote last. I just did that for demonstrating that on my channel. And that is pretty much it. So you can still get this game if you're interested. I think it's a pretty cool spin on the roll and write formula. It is very simple. It is not everybody has their own sheets because you're actually working on the same sheet. That's something you don't see very often. I like that quite a lot. So why don't you go and check it out if you're interested. And if you're still watching, thank you very much for doing so. I really, really appreciate that. And if you like this video and you don't know any of my other videos, why don't you head over to my channel? I'd love to see you there. And I'm really grateful for every like, for every subscription, for every comment, for just every one of you just watching any of my videos. So thank you very much for that. And that is all from my side today. I will see you in the very next video. All right, take care everyone and cheers.